There are dates that resonate in the collective soul of humanity. Dates whispered about in spiritual circles, typed into late-night forums, shared with reverent hesitation among those who search for something beyond the veil of the everyday. Today is December 6, 2025, and as you listen to these words, thousands of people around the world are asking the same thing. Is this the day the prophecy spoke of? Is this the moment that J.J. Benítez, tireless explorer of the deepest mysteries of existence, hinted at with words many considered enigmatic, even unsettling? Breathe deeply, because what you're about to hear isn't absolute certainty or truth proclaimed from a sacred mountain. These are fragments, interpretations, analyses of something that has captured the imagination and hope of many and also the skepticism of others. These are pieces of a puzzle that perhaps was never meant to be completed, but contemplated. J.J. Benítez's name is synonymous with the quest. For decades, this Spanish journalist and researcher has walked the lesser-traveled paths of human knowledge. He has explored the mysteries of Jesus of Nazareth with a depth that few have dared to approach. He has investigated the inexplicable, encounters with the unknown, testimonies that challenge our understanding of reality. His work Caballo de Troya became a global phenomenon not because it offered easy answers, but because it posed questions impossible to ignore. Who is Jesus really? What secrets does history keep that we haven't been told? Is there a larger plan, a cosmic plot we are only beginning to glimpse? Benítez is not a prophet in the usual sense. He doesn't appear in sacred robes or proclaim divine visions. He is a storyteller, a researcher, a man who has devoted his life to documenting what others would rather ignore. And yet, somewhere in his writings, in some long-ago interview, or in reflections shared with close followers, something emerged, a date, a reference, a pointing toward this day, December 6, 2025. But what exactly is supposed to happen today? That is where the mystery thickens, like fog in an ancient forest. Because the prophecy, if we can call it, that has never been clear, never explicit. It's as if the message were written in a language we have not yet learned to fully decipher. Some interpret this date as a marker of awakening, a moment of collective revelation, when humanity, faced with its own contradictions and the abyss of its choices, must choose a new path. Others speak of an energetic shift, a cosmic alignment, dimensional portals opening to those sensitive enough to perceive them. And of course, there are those who expect something more tangible, more dramatic, a sign in the sky, an event no one could deny, irrefutable proof that we are not alone in this vast universe. Ambiguity is part of this prophecy's power. In that nebulous space of interpretations, each person projects their own fears and hopes. The executive, exhausted by the frantic pace of the modern world, sees in this date the possibility of a cosmic pause or reset that allows a reconnection with what matters. The mother, worried about her children's future, looks for the promise of a better, fairer, more compassionate world. The skeptic, on the other hand, sees only another example of how human beings need to believe in something larger, in patterns where perhaps only the universe's random chaos exists. But let's explore the origins. Where does this prophecy actually come from? Here, we step into swampy terrain, where the line between documented fact and personal interpretation blurs. In Benítez's works, especially Caballo de Troya, there are numerous references to future events, to transformations in human consciousness, to critical moments in humanity's history. In interviews, Benítez has spoken of the possibility of open contact, of a revelation that would forever change our understanding of who we are and our place in the cosmos. He has mentioned cycles, patterns that repeat throughout history, moments when humanity stands at a crossroads. The year 2025, in particular, has been flagged by various students of prophesied only by Benítez as a year of transition, a tipping point. December, the year's final month, when darkness reaches its peak in the northern hemisphere and nature draws inward before rebirth, seems symbolically powerful. December 6 specifically carries its own symbolic weight. In Christian tradition, it is near the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. In numerology, the number 6 represents balance, responsibility, harmony, but also the need to choose. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9, the number of culmination, the end of a cycle and the start of another. Are these coincidences or meaningful synchronicities? It depends on the lens through which you look. Carl Jung spoke of synchronicity as meaningful connections that transcend causality. Perhaps this prophecy functions precisely like that, not as a literal prediction of physical events, but as a symbol resonating in the collective unconscious, activating something in those ready to listen. Benítez followers have analyzed every word, every interview, every passage of his books, searching for additional clues. Some point to references to the day the heavens will speak. Others mention allusions to a mass awakening of consciousness. Some find in his texts warnings about false prophets and the need for discernment. Online communities have spun countless discussion threads, connecting dots among Benítez's works, ancient Mayan prophecies, Nostradamus' predictions, and messages from contactees and contemporary channelers, a complex tapestry of beliefs, where every thread seems to point towards this moment. But this is where we must pause and breathe again. In the search for meaning in the natural human desire to find patterns and purpose, we risk losing something fundamental: our capacity to think critically, to question, to keep our feet on the ground while our minds explore the stars. Is this prophecy true? The question itself holds a trap, because the truth of a prophecy isn't necessarily measured by the literal fulfillment of specific events. Sometimes prophecies are true in a deeper sense. They are true because they force us to reflect, because they wake us from complacency, because they remind us we live in extraordinary times that demand our attention and conscious action. Look around you. Look at the world as it is. On this December 6, 2025, humanity faces unprecedented challenges. Climate change advances with an urgency that can no longer be denied. Geopolitical tensions threaten to erupt into conflicts no one wants yet many seem unable to avoid. Technology races ahead faster than our ability to grasp its ethical implications. Artificial intelligence, genetic modification, space exploration, all of this is redefining what it means to be human. At the same time, millions report experiences of spiritual awakening, of seeking meaning beyond materialism, of connection with something greater. Isn't this, in itself, the fulfillment of a prophecy? Are we already living in a time of revelation, when secrets kept for centuries are coming to light? When information flows so quickly that lies can no longer be maintained for long? When each individual has the power to investigate, to question, to draw their own conclusions? Benítez has always been cautious in his claims. Unlike many who trade in fear or false hope, he has kept a posture of investigative humility. He does not claim to have all the answers. He does not proclaim himself chosen or a direct messenger of higher forces. What he does is share what he has discovered, investigated, and what witnesses have entrusted to him, and then he leaves it to us to discern. This may be the most important lesson of the December 6 prophecy. It isn't about passively waiting for something external to save or condemn us. It's about recognizing that every day, every moment, is an opportunity to choose love over fear, truth over falsehood, compassion over indifference, conscious action over automatic reaction. If you are hearing this today, December 6, 2025, and you're wondering whether the prophecy has been fulfilled, look within. Have you felt something? A restlessness, a call to awaken, an urge to change, something in your life, in how you relate to others, in your connection with the planet? If so, then perhaps the prophecy is already happening, not in the outer sky, but in the inner sky of your own consciousness. Skeptics will say, this is just another failed prophecy in a long list of predictions that never materialized. They are entitled to that perspective. Healthy skepticism is a valuable tool for navigating a world full of misinformation and charlatanry. But cynicism, skepticism without hope, is a prison that keeps us from seeing possibilities beyond the obvious. Here lies the paradox. Prophecies do not so much predict the future as they create it. When thousands, perhaps millions, focus their attention on a date, a concept, a possibility, something happens in the field of collective consciousness. Intentions have power. Attention has power. Belief has power. Belief has power. Not in the simplistic magical sense and propose, but in the very real sense that what we focus on tends to expand. And our beliefs about what is possible largely determine what we attempt and, thus, what we achieve. J.J. Benítez, consciously or not, has participated in this process. He has planted seeds in the minds of his readers, seeds of curiosity, questioning, openness to broader possibilities. And today, on this December 6th, those seeds may be germinating in ways we cannot yet see. The deepest changes often begin invisibly, in the hearts and minds of individuals, before manifesting in the external world. There's another dimension to consider. Benítez has spoken extensively about beings from other worlds, about the possibility that humanity is not alone in the universe, that we observe, perhaps even guided or influenced by higher intelligences. If that perspective holds any merit, then a date like today could have meaning in calendars that aren't ours, in cycles that transcend our limited understanding of time. What if time isn't linear as we perceive it? What if certain events are destined to occur not because they are predetermined, but because they are part of larger patterns, cosmic fractals, repeating across different scales? Quantum physics has shown that the observer affects the observed, that particles exist in states of possibility until measured. Cliff prophecies work in a similar way, creating states of possibility that collapse into reality when enough observers focus their attention. These are questions without easy answers. They are the questions Benítez has been raising throughout his career, and they are the questions we might all do well to ask not only today, but every day of our lives. As the day unfolds and December 6, 2025 slides into history, some will feel disappointed. They expected something more obvious, more dramatic, more indisputable. Others will sense a subtle confirmation of something they cannot fully put into words, and most will likely continue with their daily lives, unaware that this date held any special meaning for thousands of people around the world. But the true message of this prophecy, if there is one, transcends the specific date. It's a reminder that we live in extraordinary times, that transformation is possible, that each of us has a role in creating the future, that the invisible is as real as the visible, and that mystery is an integral part of the human experience. Through his tireless work, J.J. Benítez has given us something precious: permission to ask, to doubt official narratives, to search beyond the obvious. He hasn't given us definitive answers, because definitive answers close doors. He has given us questions that open portals to new ways of seeing and understanding. So, is the prophecy of December 6, 2025 true? It depends on what you are looking for. If you seek signs in the sky, spaceships landing in the main square of every city, or a divine voice booming from the clouds, you will likely be disappointed. But if you seek an invitation to awaken, to question, to expand your consciousness, and to live more authentically and connected, then the prophecy has already been fulfilled the moment you decided to listen to these words, the moment you opened your mind to the possibility that there is more than what you see. Every true prophecy is, ultimately, a prophecy about you, about your potential, your capacity to choose, your awakening. And that awakening does not occur on a specific date marked on a calendar. It happens now, and then, every conscious breath, in every act of love, in every moment of presence. So as this day comes to an end, and the earth continues its eternal dance around the sun, carrying us all in its cosmic journey, perhaps the most important question is not whether the prophecy was fulfilled, but what you will do with this invitation to awaken. Will you fall back asleep in the illusion that everything is separate, that you are only an isolated individual without power or purpose? Or will you choose to remember that you are part of something infinitely greater, that your consciousness is connected to all existence, that your choices matter in ways you may never fully comprehend? Benítez will continue investigating, writing, sharing, because that's what true seekers do. They do not stop when they find an answer, because they know every answer is only the beginning of a deeper question. And with those who listen, read, and question, have the responsibility to continue that quest in our own lives. December 6, 2025 may not be the day the world changed in an obvious, dramatic way, but it can be the day you decided to change. It can be the day you chose to see things differently, to feel more deeply, to love more bravely, to live with greater awareness. And perhaps, just perhaps, that was always the true meaning of the prophecy. Not an external event that would save or doom us, but an inner call to become what we have always been capable of being: conscious, compassionate beings, connected and awake to the magic and mysteries surrounding us in every moment. The prophecy continues to unfold, not in the stars, but in your heart, not in the distant sky, but here and now, in this present moment, the only moment that truly exists. Do you hear the call? And now I ask you, who have come this far, to the end of this exploration, what did this December 6, 2025 mean to you? Did you feel something different? Did you awaken in some way? Or do you believe this was just more groundless speculation? I would love to know your perspective, your experience, your truth. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Share your story, because in this journey of collective awakening, every voice matters, every experience adds a piece to the puzzle. If this content resonated with you in any way, you found value in these reflections, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the bell so you don't miss future explorations of the mysteries around us. And if you think someone else might benefit from hearing this, share it. Knowledge, awareness, and the search for truth grow when they are shared. I'll see you in the next video, where we will continue exploring the frontiers of the known and the unknown way, with an open mind but feet on the ground, always questioning but never losing our capacity for wonder. Until then, May the light of consciousness accompany you on your path.